welcome to Rev Sports. I'm outside of the Arun Jaitley Stadium, and if you would have told me 2 days ago that this is how the West Indies would fight back, I would have said I don't believe you, because honestly, on day two of the Test match, when I first came here, when we did our first lunch show, I said that look, or let's say rather, when I did my first post show, I said that nothing new happened in New Delhi because India dominated, West Indies crumbled once again. But I can't say the same anymore. Since the post tea session yesterday, West Indies have been fighting back incredibly strong. John Campbell, Shai Hope, and now the other batters as well, refusing to lose their wickets. It is incredible how the West Indies batting lineup has stepped up. It is incredible to watch their resilience because, see, this is what you need. We never said that, this is going to be a team that is going to absolutely win this test match hands on. But it's the power of resilience, isn't it? Yesterday, John Campbell came out in that press conference and said that the match is still very much on. And, we all sort of it, we all sort of brushed aside West Indies, and we said that it would be a matter of 2 days, it would be a matter of 3 days that the West Indies batting lineup will crumble, and then India will whitewash the series once again. But they're giving some real fight back here, and it's honestly very impressive the way that yesterday first, going through that session without any wickets, when Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, all three of them were bowling relentlessly, and there were no wickets falling at all. This is a morning session that is going to be remembered because, look, John Campbell, going years without a century, finally has got it in India against a very good full-strength Indian side. It is a long-awaited maiden test done, and Shai Hope has looked absolutely incredible. He's unbeaten at 92 at the moment, and he's going to get his century soon too if he can stay on post the lunch session. But West Indies at this point trailing by only 18 runs. They are pushing India hard. What do you guys think? Drop in your questions and opinions and comments so I can interact with you all, because it's no fun talking to myself and talking to the camera. But, West Indies now with the as they're trailing by only 18 runs, what do you think could be the outcome of the game? Obviously, it's going to be India that will win because they are far too strong and far too superior. But at the same time, how long do you think West Indies can continue this fight back? Jen is saying, no question, Gill and Gambhir. No question about what? Elaborate on that, Janesh, so I can, talk to you about. Okay, SS98 is saying Test cricket is a different gravy, real test of Captain Gill. West Indies is challenging India in India is concerning. I wouldn't say it's incredibly concerning. It's not going to be every single day that West Indies will crumble. You can't undermine any team when they come out for Test cricket. Test cricket is Test cricket. Look, even the kind of century that we saw from Shubman Gill yesterday, that also deserves a lot of credit. But when it comes to captaincy, we have said that over and over again. There is a lot of work to be done by Shubman Gill when it comes to the Test captaincy. And he will have to learn on the job, obviously. He will learn from this fight back as well. But at this point, West Indies are offering some real good resistance. Dhruba Jyoti Sarkar is saying 150 to 200 run chase might be tricky here. Dhruba Jyoti, it's still a very good batting track. It's still not giving, it still hasn't deteriorated as much as we thought it would at day 4. But again, we never thought that day 4 would come. We thought it would be a matter of 2.5 days, 3 days. But Campbell and Shai Hope, the way that they batted yesterday after tea, that changed absolutely everything. And now Roston Chase, the skipper, joins Shai Hope on the crease. He's still the man of the moment, Shai Hope, batting at 97 at this point. Let me see if there are any other comments here. There were some moments, I think only an over before lunch, Washington Sundar bowled the last over. Ravindra Jadeja's over, Shai Hope came real close to losing his wicket there. So There are moments that are happening, but at this point, India is still very close to winning. But at the same time, how long can they be stretched? West Indies at this point will be looking to stretch India as far as they can, and they are doing a very, very good job of it. If you look at the kind of batting that they've done yesterday, and especially I want to talk about John Campbell here because he was batting really smart. If you look at his entire innings, it wasn't as flamboyant. If you were to compare, it wasn't as flamboyant as you would uh, as you if you compare it to a Shubman Gill inning. It's not the most picturesque batting shots or whatever, but at the same time, John Campbell was getting runs. So was Shai Hope, because you see, Kuldeep Yadav was bowling pretty quick yesterday. Even though he got that 5 wicket haul, he was bowling pretty quick yesterday. And John Campbell was placing those shots really, really well in the gaps. And, it's incredible the kind of batting that we've seen from him yesterday. And today as well, of course. But he got out, thankfully, after his century, a long, long awaited century there. Dhruvajyoti is saying, Di, what I feel here is that we have been really lethargic. Our body language hasn't been great. Yes, I understand West Indies, but WTC final qualify karne ke liye you need to be at your A game. Somewhat agree with you, Dhruvajyoti, and this is a conversation that I was having with some of the some of the journalists in the press box yesterday as well. Because after that tea session, when there were no wickets falling, when you weren't getting any breakthroughs, and you've seen that that's been a pattern in the Indian team. If you look back on the England series as well, there were a lot of moments of resistance when the English batters were batting for really, really long. There weren't any breakthroughs, and that's when the body language sort of gets very um, unmotivated, if that's the word that I want to use here. The intent sort of goes away or seeps away from the body language. Yesterday as well, you could see that there wasn't any real energy in the game, but you see, it's difficult also at the same time to continue that intensity for all 4 days at every moment in the game. But what I want to say here is, when the chips are down, that's when the body language matters the most. And I think yesterday, looking back on yesterday as well, it was Mohammad Siraj, I think, who was still in that bowling innings of his, in that first spell of his um, after the follow on, that he was the one who was bringing in a lot of energy. He was the one who was sort of chirping with the batters. He was going out there, was being aggressive. There was this one moment where he sort of wanted to throw the ball towards the batter, or was doing these gestures of aggression. And it was only Mohammad Siraj who looked like he was going in with intent. Of course, he's the man who puts in a lot of heart and soul into his bowling, and that is expected. And that's actually what got the crowd involved as well, because you can understand when the West Indies batters are batting for so long, and nothing real interesting is happening in the game. The only high point at that point, when we talk about body language, was Mohammad Siraj. He was the aggressive one. And crowds started chanting DSP, DSP. So you're somewhat right when you say that. I wouldn't use the word lethargic, but I would say that you couldn't see the intent in the body language, and the track also wasn't giving you much, giving much to the bowlers. They had bowled so before the follow on, 81 overs already bowled, and Ravindra Jadeja was also talking about the fact that because the pitch has really low bounce, that they have to put in extra effort to make the ball do something. So you understand where all of that culminates and turns into a sort of a body language that isn't the most aggressive. Are West Indies thinking of saving this game? Because as things are going, I'd see hope or chase, or coming batters throwing their wickets. We need to create something which we aren't. Um, I think it will depend on a lot on how Shubman Gill sort of uses his bowlers at the moment, because the pitch still isn't giving as much as it should on day 4. It isn't deteriorating as much as day 4. Yesterday also we saw some rough patches from the press box end. I have forgotten what that end is called, but opposite the Gautam Gambhir end, from that on that end there were some patches there. if that's where Ravindra Jadeja was bowling from the Gautam Gambhir end and was making use of that patch. But apart from that, we don't have much assistance from the pitch at this point. Rubijati, can we have a short ball plan on a low bounce wicket? I don't think, you know, it depends. Can you do that with the new ball? How many overs has it been? Let me just check. It's been 70. Oh no, wow, my math is really bad. But anyway, I think yes, a short ball ploy can be used here. At this point, you need to do as much as possible because you're not getting the breakthroughs as fast as you have in the past game, in the past sessions as well. If you exclude the tea session and this morning session, you need to make sure that you're dominating, that you're back on your A game, because this is honestly, West Indies is pushing you to your limits. But I think I'll end the show there. I have to go back in and start on the tea tea report, because I don't know if you guys read it. I do a tea report every single day. I write a piece for tea. It's not a huge one, but again, if you want a quick update, it's on the Rev Sports website. It's tweeted as well on from the Rev Sports handle. So have a look at that as well. And I'll be back at the end of the game. So don't forget to join us if it goes. If it goes on till tomorrow, then I'll be back at the end of the day, and if it ends today, then I'll be back at the end of the game. So I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and to everyone who sent their comments and questions. Thank you, and we'll be back.